Hi there, Richard Fulmer here, and welcome to another Richard's Rock Rambles Top Trio. So, the artist we're going to look at today, or the band I should say, is this band, Deep Purple. This t-shirt I got back in 1995 when they first came to South Africa, and they came back a few years later. But this is the t-shirt that I got at that tour. It seems to have shrunk in the wash or something. I don't know. It's very tight fit. Anyway, so Deep Purple is the band and a large discography. So what I've done is I've taken mainly from the 70s, my top three. And we're going to check that out. And please, once again, remember this is my personal choice. You guys, I'd love to see what your top three are, whether it's from the 70s or whether it's throughout their large discography. It'd be great to see. So enough waffling. Coming in at number 3. And this for me was the first of the Mark II albums that was the true Deep Purple. They had an album before this with an orchestra, Concerto for Group and Orchestra, which was okay, but it wasn't really what they were going to do. This was them showing the world what they could do. And some great stuff on here, some staples which they still play to this day. A band which is still touring, still making albums, by the way. So I'm talking about In Rock. There we go. How's that iconic cover? This is the anniversary, one of the anniversary editions, and you can see all the signatures on the front there. And it's the original cover there. Mount Rushmore, Deep Purple. At the back, that's just the songs. I just want to show you if there's anything else I can show you. This very early shot of the band. And there's Mr. Blackmore without his Fender Strat. I think that's a Gibson. A very small kit for Ian Pace. So who was in the band? Blackmore was in the band on guitar, Ian Pace on drums, John Lord on keyboards, Roger Glover on bass, and Ian Gillan on vocals, the screamer. So this would become a classic album for them. And that's the very early days there with Rod Evans and those dodgy haircuts. And there's a very young Ian Gillan and Roger Glover. They were in a band called Episode 6. They came to join Deep Purple. And there's an early shot of the guys. And the rest of this just tells you about the story of how it was recorded and what have you. And there you go. There's an ad for the album. So let's get into the songs, shall we? Don't want to spend too much time on each album. So like I said, this was the first true Deep Purple Mark II. I don't know what mark they're on now, probably Mark 100. There's been so many lineup changes over the years. Starts off with a classic, Speed King. And some of the lyrics in that song are just like out there. You gotta be wondering if they were on the Magic Mushrooms or something, but very strange lyrics. Nonetheless, a great track, a real rocker. Starts off with some crazy guitar histrionics from Blackmore. And he was making a statement there, I think, saying to everybody, we have now left the orchestra, we are a rock band. Goes into Bloodsucker, another great track. And then, of course, the epic Child in Time. One of the tracks that I doubt Ian Gillan can do today. With those really high screams. It's like July Morning from Uriah Heep and Zepp, Stairway to Heaven. That's their epic track, Child in Time. Then we go into Flight of the Rat, Into the Fire, with it's a great groove track that. Some excellent drumming from Ian Pace and Roger Glover on the bass. Very tight rhythm section. Living Wreck, with some nice Hammond B3 work from John Lord. His work on this album is amazing. Really brings the organ to the front. Hard Loving Man, and then Black Knight. And it says your original single version. And then there's about 6 different bonus tracks on here. Speed King, Cry Free, Jam Stew, which is, as it says, a jam. Flight of the Rat, Speed King, and then another version of Black Knight. So this was re-released, I think in the early 2000s. And obviously in 1972, I think this came out. So that's my number 3. In Rock from Deep Purple. Gotta have it. Number 2 from the same lineup, Mark II. Machine Head, another anniversary edition. And of course this contained the song that I really never need to hear again. The one that all aspiring guitarists have to learn. Smoke on the Water, which is all about them going to Montreux and recording an album, and then the casino caught fire. You know the story. And then they used the Rolling Stones mobile to do the album, Frank Zappa and the Mothers and the rest of it. And that's the studio, very small setup there, early days. And there's that classic album cover. I used to have this on vinyl. I don't know what happened to my vinyl. There's the songs at the back. And it's a double disc. Let me show you. There we go. There's the purple. And there's a cool picture disc. And yeah, this was another classic album for them, especially from the Mark II era. There we go. Here's slightly longer. Getting into the 70s now. 72 this was. That previous In Rock, I think, was 1970. Yeah. And yeah, it just tells you all about there they are in the studio. There's Ian Gillan with the headphones. There's Mr. Blackmore now with his trademark Strat. And what else can I show you? Roger Glover with his Rickenbacker bass with his hat on. He always had some sort of headgear up until today. I think he still wears a scarf. And there's the Smoke on the Water. There's the casino burning down. Some dude with a flamethrower decided to throw it into the roof, and that was the end of that. And there's the mobile studio, the Rolling Stones mobile. Excellent album, full-on rocker. Apart from Smoke on the Water, which, as I say, I don't really need to hear again. I've heard that a gazillion times. Starts off with Highway Star, and like Speed King, another great intro rock track for any album, and also a staple of theirs live. Maybe I'm a Leo, slightly slower track. Pictures of Home, some great singing from Ian Gillan. He's really on top form on this album. Never Before, Smoke on the Water, Lazy. That's another track that would given the jam treatment when they were live. And they would stretch it out to like, I don't know, 20 minutes sometimes. And I think that used to incorporate, or was it The Mule, when Ian Pace would do his drum solo. Anyway, Lazy is a great track. Space Trucking, another classic. And When a Blind Man Cries, which is that beautiful song with Ian Gillan really showing what he can do with his voice. You know, he could do the screaming bit, which everybody got to know, but he could sing blues, he could sing anything really. He could sing the names in a telephone directory if he had to. So this being a double disc, this is a remastered version, anniversary edition. You got Highway Star, different version. Maybe I'm a Leo. Then the Lazy quadraphonic mix. So it's just a different version of each track. Classic Machine Head. Yeah, this is an album which I never get tired of, except for that one track. So that's my number 2, both from Mark II, Deep Purple. So what's my number 1? Well, my number 1 is the first album for Mark III. There we go, Burn. Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for this album. It's just every track on, bar the final one, which is an instrumental called A200, where John Law is just tinkering around with the synthesizers. The rest of this album, it just cooks. And it's a different side to Deep Purple. There was a lot more you could see, because into the band came Glenn Hughes on bass and vocals, David Coverdale out of nowhere, unknown singer really, on vocals. And Glenn Hughes brought a different vibe to the bass playing, different style, different rhythms, but he hooked up so well with Ian Pace. This is also an anniversary edition. There's the original cover. I think I mentioned this album previously in albums that have just turned 40. 74 this came out, yeah. There's a very young David Coverdale, early days with Deep Purple. As I said, he was an unknown. Nobody never heard of David Coverdale, but he certainly made his mark. And there's Glenn Hughes with his Fender bass, with his long hair, which I see is grown again. Ian Pace behind the kit. And what else can I show you? There's a great shot of the band in their 70s outfits. Blackmore at the bottom there. So yeah, this is a classic album as well. Very different, as I mentioned, to the other two that I've just shown you. Nonetheless, a brilliant album. The tracks, yes, I suppose I better tell you about the tracks. Burn. That is probably for me one of the best starting tracks on any album. It just kicks you in the face. It starts off slow and it just builds and builds and builds. Great riff from Richie Blackmore, a memorable riff. Lots of melody as well. Great organ work from John Lord. And that goes into Might Just Take Your Life with some excellent vocals from Glenn Hughes. Early morning coffee here. And his voice and David Coverdale's would work so well in the harmony department. Great stuff. Lay Down, Stay Down, which is a song about, well, you know what it's about. Sail Away, that's quite a great song for David Coverdale's voice, more of a mellow track. You Fool No One, with some brilliant drumming from Ian Pace. He's all over the kit, the toms, you name it, he's going for it in that track. What's Going On Here, and then of course the standout track, another epic track for them, Mistreated, which would have gone to be sung by David Coverdale and Whitesnake, and Rainbow also sang it. Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, they used to play that track as well. Another epic track, quite a lengthy track, Mistreated, with some great guitar work from Blackmore and brilliant vocals from Coverdale. That was kind of his showpiece. Bonus tracks on here, Coronis Redig, which I think is an instrumental, different version of Burn, Mistreated, You Fool No One, and Sail Away, different versions. So that's my number one for Deep Purple, Burn. Iconic cover, candles burning there, their heads. Excellent stuff. You've got to have this in your collection. Even if you're a casual collector of Deep Purple, this will knock your socks off. There we go, my 1, 2, and 3 of Deep Purple. Number 1, Burn. Number 2, Machine Head. And number 3, In Rock. All excellent albums. That's it, guys. I'll be back again with another video. And next time around, we're going to look at probably my favorite band, Led Zeppelin. Not an easy choice, but we'll get there. And I just wanted to quickly mention this coming Sunday, the 24th of March. I'm going down the road, literally down the road, 500 meters or so, to the Eastlake Center here. They're going to have a vinyl fair right on my doorstep, which is fantastic. So if you're in the Muizenberg area and you live around here, come check us out at the vinyl fair there. There's a pub there as well, so you can have a few refreshing drinks as well while you spend your money on vinyl. There's probably going to be some CDs there as well. So yeah, come check that out. I'm definitely going to be there, and what I'm going to do afterwards is have another video and I'll show you what I got there. Take it easy, guys. Have yourselves a great week. If you haven't done so yet, if you're new to the channel, down below, please subscribe. It'll really be great. Any comments about what you've just seen, your top 3 Deep Purples, love to hear from you. Take it easy, and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.